Hey guys, welcome back. Today is a special episode, so this is going to be episode, if I can do my math correctly, number 20. So today's episode, we're going to talk about Japanese fishing stores. So this is a topic that I've been wanting to cover for a while. It's going to be a little longer episode, but I think duly suffice because Japanese fishing stores are a lot different than compared to in the States. We're going to go through local stores here in Sasebo and Hirado. And then we're going to look at some Kyushu only stores, and then we're going to look at national chains. So I'm going to give you a scope on several. I've seen lots of YouTube videos just talking about Japanese fishing stores, but I'm going to show you the difference between what a local store can look like, mom and pop, to big chains. So, duly note, I've been working on this episode for 6 months, so if I look different in other episodes or whatnot, that's why. But yeah, I'm here doing laundry real quick because it's Saturday morning and the weather's crap again. Hopefully I can get out on charter real soon, but yeah. So in a few, I'm going to go pick up the kid and the family. We're going to go check out the local fishing store because they're actually having a fishing convention, which is really cool. Something that local stores do around here, which makes them so unique. But yeah, let's go. This is our local shop, Go 10. I'm pretty sure I pronounced that wrong, but everyone calls it No Fishing, No Life because there's a huge sticker of it. The owner is probably the nicest person I've ever met in Japan. He does so much for the community. And this last weekend, this local fair, convention, whatever you would call it, meant a lot to the local community. Over 600 people, not from Sasebo, came here. It had major sponsors such as Red Bull, Shimano, Daiwa, national chains that came out. Most of the brands had booths where you could win prizes if you bought something. I wanted to show love because this meant a lot to the community. The Americans that are stationed here and all the foreigners really rely on shops like this if they have an interest in fishing. These local shops mean so much to their communities and almost everyone uses it. Now let's look at a national chain. I can spend hours in this one as this is the biggest one in Kyushu. So this one is Casting. It's a national brand found up in Yokohama, here in Fukuoka, all the way up in Sapporo. I'm going to show you some videos in a second of what's inside, but this is 48 aisles of fishing madness. So if you have a full day, you're in Fukuoka, please come and see this one. This one's amazing. A little later in the episode, I'm going to take you to Kamea and then another national brand called Point, which is one of my favorites. Kamea is only in Kyushu, while Point is national. Casting is national as well. And there's a couple other different brands, such as Fishers and nameless amounts, because obviously fishing is one of the biggest things here to do in Japan. So I'm going to stop talking and let's go shopping. Like I said, Casting is a national brand, and this store is huge. I could literally spend half a day walking around, looking at reels, jigs, lures, rods, and they're all broken down into the type of fish that you want. So whether it's sea bass, tuna, even microfishing, it's absolutely incredible and honestly a little overwhelming. I love this store for two reasons. One, because of apparel that I can't find anywhere else in my size. And two, the amount of bags and specific gear for situations that local stores and smaller chains don't carry. I've gotten all my cold weather gear and anything else at Casting. Now let's look at our local national chain, Point. So Point is located all over Japan. The one in Sasebo is quite small, but they have pretty much everything you need and is a great place for beginners to go to. When you enter the store, there's even maps and locations to show you where to fish. So a beginner or even an 80-year-old can start. Here's an example of a 24-hour, which ours is not. So once you enter, there's all this information on different charters, different fishing companies, and anything that you need to know about the season of fishing. The other thing that they have a lot of is coolers. Coolers specifically made in Japan are so worth it. The technology is almost as good as some of the high brands in the United States. And I take opportunity in buying what I can when I can. Point has a variety of all sorts of different gear, whether tackle boxes, water safety, wet gear, you name it. If you need it, they're going to have it in some form, whether their own local brand through various stuff, or they may have a cluster of this lure, that lure. They're not going to have the massive amounts as such as chains as casting, but you get the point. The reels, rods, and anything that you're looking for are of great quality and price point. Hey guys, so I'm here today. I'm at Kamea. Kamea is a local store, the best in Kyushu. So they only operate here in Kyushu. And I'm going to show you some of the things that make them the best store in my opinion. If you do come down here, and just saying, because I already did my shopping, one of the things it loves is point systems, coupons, and little giveaways. Especially when it's hot out here, I'm sweating like no other. They give away free drinks when you spend over 1,000, which is like $7. So let's go inside the store. Let's check it out. Kamea in Sasebo is located on our main route, 35. Its large parking lot, bathrooms, and other features make it a great meeting spot since it does open at 2 a.m. Once you enter the store, you're greeted by 16 aisles of fishing pleasure. You have everything you need at hand in here, from hardware, lures, to anything you're thinking of. Jigs are some of the largest section that you can find in our Kamea. They have special seasonal racks that show you what type of game and where they're located at. This is one of my favorite features of our local store. Rods are broken off into sections, which you can see on the white sign, whether it's casting, jigging, slow jigging, shore, or whatever. And they offer a large section of used, great priced items that you can not break the bank with. Reels are also a large selection here, whether being high-end in the cabinet or just basic beginners. Tackle has its own separate aisle with all the boxes you can think of, bags, and accessories. I often go to this aisle for stuff that I need in my backyard, or even these little cubies on the bottom shelf to put my son's toys in. It's a great store just to go to, period. They have a large selection of flotation devices, boots, rain gear, sunglasses, you name it. It's one of my favorite stores just because they not only have fishing stuff, but basically seasonal stuff. Like I said, this rack here can break down what's in the season, whether it's winter, summer, spring. It's going to basically tell you what to do. They also have a large section dedicated to top water game, if that's what you're going to do. The hardware section shows some of the tools that you can use, and then it has a large section of carry-all bags for airport use or coolers. Kamea also has the opportunity to make a Japanese print of the game that you catch, which shows location, size, and the date that you caught it, so you can remember it forever. My other favorite thing about this store is they host tons of events from local vendors or national brands where you can meet celebrities, talk about how you use their products, and tons of giveaways. I can't say how much I enjoy it. The next store we're going to talk about is Blue Water House. This is a specific store in Fukuoka only to big game. So Hitamasa, maguro, Shida, which is mahi mahi. This is a high-end store, which you can actually buy your stuff and get it delivered. So they have exclusive rights with MC Works, which is Medusa Customs Works, and their charters. And then a few others like Ripplefish, and I can't really remember some of them, sorry, but there are a lot of high-end custom-made stuff. So the rods and reels here, at minimum, are going to be 50 to 80,000 yen, which is quite a lot of money. But if you're into big game, this is your place. So if you come to Fukuoka or Japan in period, you could order a custom rod from them. And I would, because they have some great stuff. I love going to this store. They don't offer much as in points or rewards, but they have a huge sale on New Year's Day, which is hundreds, if not thousands, of people line long. So it's quite cool. The first floor is completely bass fishing, so if you're into that too, I would recommend going there. The last store that we're going to look at is Tackleberry. Tackleberry is a national brand with locations in every prefecture over Japan. And the best feature of it is you can look at inventory online to determine whether you want to go to a store or not. I've bought multiple rods of high quality for a fraction of the price that they should have been because they were secondhand. And they're just as good as the day they were made. Alright guys, so this is going to wrap this week's episode. I really hope you got some great information out there, as I worked on this episode for God knows how long. It almost is 6 months. But needless to say, there are so many franchises of fishing stores out there. And I didn't even cover the real mom and pop stores that are basically just holes in the shack. So depending on where you actually go to in Japan, those might be the best locations if you speak Japanese to go talk to. That's where I get a lot of my information, by the way. But I showed you some of the locals, I showed you some of the nationals, and I showed you Kyushu alone. And for the most part, all of them have great information. So let me get back to editing next week's episode as I went on a casting charter. So thank you guys again. Make sure you like and subscribe, and you put the bell notification on there so you know when these episodes are coming out, because I'm trying to schedule to go on another charter in the next few days. Alright guys, thank you again. Later.